Oh, hey, I'm back.
Yeah.
Glad you guys are safe. Also, I need your dog because
I'm going to kill it.
I thought we were clear that I'm going to destroy him.
The house began to pitch. The kitchen took a slitch. It landed on the Wicked Witch. Oh. In the middle of a ditch.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
It lands in theaters everywhere.
See the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
For the first time, digitally restored.
These things must be done delicately.
And remastered in digital stereo sound.
Well, that makes a difference.
Because
With all the songs.
Well, there's no place like home.
The magic.
Poppy.
I am Oz.
Follow the yellow brick road.
The fun.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Generations have waited to see the most beloved movie of the century on the big screen. And
Toto, too?
Toto 2.
We represent the Lollipop Guild.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
Put 'em up, put 'em up.
The Wizard of Oz Special Edition. Digitally restored and remastered in digital stereo sound. You've never seen Oz like this.
I put it on and was just like, for fuck's what? For
But
real?
what? Okay, so what was the first what the fuck moment in this movie?
This entire beginning, everything in black and white just pissed me off. Like Miss Gulch coming by to the house and saying like, I need your dog. It bit me. I'm going to bring him to the sheriff. And they're like, all right, here you go. I'm going to have him destroyed.
None of this rings as true to you.
Okay. So you just are going to say, here, take the dog? Not like I have the authorities here with me. Don't worry. I'm just going to put the dog in my basket. I'm going to bike him back home and take him out back and kill him. It just seemed like...
Not believable in 1939, or just not
also
believable?
problematic because I know that Dorothy wakes up and now she's back in reality. So is her dog still going to be destroyed?
Okay. All right. So we're already diving into what's wrong with this movie.
Right.
Maybe we need to set the stage here.
All right, let's take it from the top.
Okay. So the year is 1939. The movie The Wizard of Oz, beloved by all. Not too many who have come out outwardly, at least in my close circles, to say I hate this movie.
Right, like real problem here.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are definitely parts that people could point to and say have questions about it, but
it's a pretty rock solid
Yeah,
movie.
I think
it's quotable. Probably one of the most quoted movies of all time.
98% on Rotten Tomatoes, which if I were to guess, if I were to say what the rating was, I probably wouldn't have guessed that high. I would have assumed, there's enough haters to knock it down, but 98% is pretty good.
And you can probably argue 98%.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. I don't know if 100% is without its issues, but 98% is pretty good.
Sure.
And after doing a little bit of Rotten Tomatoes research, I have to start with some of my favorite bad reviews if I could.
Oh, yeah.
So through Rotten Tomatoes, you can look, and obviously there's people can just log in and leave a review.
Yeah.
But this is like published articles, like people who went to the movie in 1939 saw it and reviewed it. Like this is like the New Yorker. This isn't like Tom down the street doesn't like it, which it could be funny for some reasons.
Sure.
But so I found a New Yorker review, 1939, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll read my favorite quotes from it. And this is right off the bat. This is the chunk that it says. I will rest my case against the Wizard of Oz on one line of dialogue. It occurs in a scene in which the Wicked Witch is trying to persuade Dorothy, the little girl from Kansas, to part with a pair of magic slippers. The Good Witch interrupts them, warning Dorothy not to give up the slippers, whereupon the Wicked Witch snarls, "You keep out of this." Well, there it is. Either you believe witches talk like that or you don't. I don't. since the Wizard of Oz is full of stuff as bad as that, or worse, I say it's a stinkeroo. So just the fact that from the jump in 1939, this guy was like, nope, witches don't talk like that. I'm out. I'm checked out for the next hour and a half of this movie. Stinkeroo.
And that's the problem you have with the movie?
That's paragraph 1. So you can only imagine that, there's issues with it from there on. But another line, which one of these, this will probably come up in us discussing problematic parts of this movie, but something else that the guy reviewed in the New Yorker said, I don't like the singer midgets under any circumstances, but I found them especially bothersome in Technicolor. So that to me, there's some layers there in terms of like, I don't know what his personal issues are with it.
Right.
But,
I have some interesting facts. Do you want to get to that now?
Please. I mean, we can get into it as we're going.
So yes, the Munchkins are the singer midgets because their manager was Leo Singer. They were from Europe. Many were Jewish and used this movie to stay in the U.S. and escape the Nazis.
Wow.
And so that was like their work visa to get out of persecution.
That's incredible.
So I hope that guy in the New Yorker knew that. It was like, send them back. I don't like them, especially in Technicolor.
That's even better. The fact, you know what? That should have really been a selling point for this movie. Like, you may not like the movie, but listen,
we're saving them from
here.
the Nazis, so you're welcome.
And
many couldn't speak English or sing well, so only 2 of them is their actual voice.
Wow.
The rest of them, it's all like dubbed over with whatever.
So in the little bit of research I did, I also saw that for the Munchkins, you said they were brought here on work visas to get out of being killed in World War II.
Yeah.
I saw that a lot of the head of the group, Leo Singer, is that his name?
The manager.
He didn't pay a lot of them. Or at least like there was issues with payment. A lot of them weren't getting paid. So I don't know if it was like, hey, you know what? I got you out of the war. This is kind of.
I mean, that could be like you should just be grateful.
Yeah. I don't know if it was on purpose. It seemed like a lot of them weren't getting paid.
From what I had read on like IMDb, the Munchkins were paid $50 per week, and it was a 6-day work week. Toto was paid $125.
Oh my god!
So the dog got more than double what each Munchkin. But I mean, there's way more Munchkins than Totos, so
that's
be
true.
it.
If the production budget for dogs is comparable to that of little people, then it's just gonna get spread over more.
It is what it is. And Toto is featured in the entire movie. So
that's
what
true.
are you gonna do?
Main role. He's got on the call sheet. He's got to be 4 or 5. Like he's. I mean,
At
after
least.
Dorothy, and then the 3 following after that. He's top. He's top 5 billing.
And it did. I mean, I will say, as far as special effects go too, for 39, it was nominated for best special effects. Did you see the awards?
Yes, but go ahead.
It won 2 Oscars: best music. Okay, got it. Original song and original score.
Yeah.
It was nominated for best picture, best cinematography, best art direction, and best special effects. Sure.
Makes
special
sense.
effects.
Yep.
I get that.
Yep.
And then there were other things that I thought were special effects that were not.
Yep.
And so we can get to that later. But
Perfect.
I was surprised with some things that I found out.
So let me finish up my other. So there wasn't many reviews, at least in the legitimate sense, or at least that from via Rotten Tomatoes. But so the other one was from the New Republic, somebody else who went in 1939 saw the movie. And they said, The Wizard of Oz was intended to hit the same audience as Snow White and won't fail for lack of trying. It has dwarfs, music, Technicolor, freak characters, and Judy Garland. It can't be expected to have a sense of humor as well. And as for the light touch of fantasy, it weighs like a pound of fruitcake soaking wet. So there's just a couple of, crabs who were not pleased.
There's some funny lines.
Yeah.
The Scarecrow, when Dorothy asks, "How can you talk if you don't have a brain?" and he says, "A lot of people talk without brains."
I put it in a section for favorite scenes and quotes. That was one of them.
That has to be.
That
it
is such a good line.
To every generation.
It's so good.
No matter what is going on, you can just throw that quote up, and already someone has someone that comes to mind.
I wouldn't say it's like name the top quotes that everyone knows for this movie, but it's one that's like it's just so rock solid. Yeah. So I found the budget was $2.7 million. Did you see what it brought in worldwide? What would you guess it brought in worldwide?
I don't even.
And I don't know if I don't think this is adjusted for inflation.
I was gonna say 2.7 mil in 1939.
Yeah, it seems crazy to think that.
And that's the budget?
Yeah.
I would imagine it brought in a lot, but I have no clue how much.
If I were to hear that was their budget, I would have been like, oh, 100 million easy. They only
Sure.
26 million worldwide, and I saw another number that said 34 million. So either way, it's in the ballpark of around 30 million, which I don't know how much it played into like movies in the U.S. actually making it internationally and like how that all gets set up in 1939. But
And
it
how
didn't
many
seem like a lot.
theaters were there in the U.S. at the time? Like
That's kind of the thing too. You have to kind of balance
18?
those out. So maybe 30 million is like that's a smash. But to me, I was
right.
like, that doesn't seem like it seems like it's too little.
Well, that's like a weekend for a movie here. Not
Yeah.
even like a successful
Yeah.
weekend.
So what I found is the basic plot of this movie, which everyone I think can generally wrap their head around. But for the potentially one person who may listen to this who has never seen Wizard of Oz, the plot that's listed is when a tornado rips through Kansas, Dorothy, Judy Garland, and her dog Toto are whisked away in their house to the magical land of Oz. They follow the yellow brick road toward the Emerald City to meet the wizard, and en route they meet a scarecrow that needs a brain, a tin man missing a heart, and a cowardly lion who wants courage. The wizard asks the group to bring them the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West to earn his help. Pretty,
I'm okay with that,
Yeah.
except for one thing.
please.
She wasn't actually whisked away. She gets a freaking concussion from.
CTE was not top of mind in 1939.
There is no concussion protocol, clearly, because she gets hit in the head from the window
Yeah.
that just comes off of the hinges,
Yeah.
hits her in the head. She passes out. Why isn't she in a shelter?
Yeah.
Oh, because her aunt and uncle freaking abandoned her. She just went to see some guy down the street, and they're like, I'm sure she'll be fine. What is this, like an F3 tornado? Probably not even that big of a deal. Who in the right mind would just be okay with leaving their niece chilling in the house?
The whole what happened to Dorothy's parents.
Yes.
I wrote that down as like,
that's like,
not, and again,
number
it's
one.
an hour and I don't remember how long the movie's listed as, but like if you have that in there, then now you're adding potentially 20 to 30 more minutes. And is it worth even getting into? Sometimes, and I will say there's some movies where I watch and it's like you're spending too much time explaining this all. Let me just get to the point. And that's,
but it could be one line of dialogue, like, we told your parents we'd take care of you.
Yeah.
Or like something.
Sure.
It didn't have to be anything big. But that was my first question too.
Yeah.
What happened to Dorothy's parents?
Yeah. And it's a fair question. I mean,
my next question is, how old is Dorothy? Because they have enough work on the farm where they have to hire 3 farmhands, and
Yeah.
Dorothy's only responsibility is don't get into trouble. Like they say to her,
that seems to be like 10 to 12 years old.
just stay out of the way.
Yeah, yeah.
I know she had to wear a corset, Judy Garland,
Mm.
while filming to make her seem more flat-chested because they
okay.
wanted to bring down her age.
Okay.
But to me, it's like, okay, if she's 16, does this movie not work? No, it's fine. I mean, I don't know what age they're shooting for. That was my next question. How old is she supposed to be?
Yeah.
And I don't think it really matters, but
Right.
it seems on the younger side if they're just saying, okay, don't get into trouble.
So do
All
you think if she is, I mean, you can see, I mean, we're kind of watching this in the background as we're doing this, but like, obviously, so it's the part where all the munchkins, she's walking into Munchkinland, it's right in the beginning.
Lullaby
of the cover.
League.
Yeah, the Lullaby League. And you could see, obviously, she's taller than them, but you could see she doesn't look like she's 16. Now, you could make the argument that maybe she's 18 or like she's close to that age.
Yeah.
But to your point, like, does it need to be addressed that she's old, she's at the actual age she's supposed to be, or it's like she's playing young and
I don't know if some of this is lost in the generation.
Sure.
So like, all right, she's carrying a dog around in a basket. Like,
Right.
this doesn't make sense.
Right.
I don't know. I wasn't alive in 1939.
Dogs were in baskets all the time. That's just how you cared. You didn't let them walk around.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Her demeanor, like she seems really innocent.
Yeah.
But that is utilized quite a few times. So
Yeah.
maybe she has to be younger. I don't know.
Yeah. Plenty of questions. And
Not many answers.
And from what I gathered, I don't think this is urban myth. My understanding was she was on a pretty heavy smoking diet at the time. Like they were only letting her like drink water and smoke cigarettes all the time to try to keep her. So when you said corset, I thought you were gonna say because of weight, but you were saying to make her even just look younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So-
it was uncomfortable. And there are a few other things that I have found that
Please.
have not aged well
Oh,
in the Me Too era. Maybe a little questionable.
I wonder if it would have benefited me to. I haven't seen what was the James Franco vehicle?
Oh,
Yeah. Have
Great
you
and
seen that?
Powerful Oz.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And
It's a good take on it.
Okay.
But it's all about the wizard and how he is a fraud and how he's basically like a Carney trying to swindle people
Gotcha.
into getting dates, getting money.
Perfect that they would have James Franco because he's already kind of like slimy.
Oh,
in
he
that way.
plays it very well.
It's an easy.
I don't know that
in
it's
his
a
wheelhouse,
stretch
yeah.
role. So yeah, that to me was like great. It's about an imposter trying to fool everyone around him.
Yeah.
Great. I thought it worked really well.
Okay. I'll have to watch that.
So as far as Dorothy goes,
yes,
the scene where she slaps the Cowardly Lion, I guess she couldn't hold it together. She had a bad case of the giggles.
okay.
So
It
the
brought her to it.
director took her aside and slapped the crap out of her. She returned to set, filmed it in one take. Not
Yeah.
surprising, like,
Yeah.
oh, that snapped her out of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I guess the director did feel bad, and she overheard a conversation of him talking to a coworker, so she gave him a kiss on the nose to show she had no hard feelings.
Okay.
The fact that she had no hard feelings,
After getting open hand
just
struck.
like you seem to be struggling with being serious. Let me knock that out of you.
Listen, I've heard there are directors that, to get inside the minds of their actors, they want them to go all the way. They can't just, you can't sell it with words. Sometimes you have to you got to put them in
knock
that
some
place.
sense
Yeah,
into
you got to
them.
open hand slap a woman in 1939. No one batted an eye at that. At that time, that was not an issue. And any other, so that was kind of, I don't know if I'd call the abuse of your actors like fun facts, but did you find anything else in terms of like trivia, facts, mythology, please?
So the lion's costume was made of real lion skin.
I did not know that.
So it weighed 90 pounds. And they had to have 2 people dedicated to just drying it out because it was so soaked with sweat after every day.
Yeah.
Now I see the costume. I'm like, yeah, that looks like real lion skin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it was.
Yeah, it was an actual.
It was real.
Again, something that may not make it over to the current remake of the movie, actually skinning a lion for the costume, but
I don't know where they got it from. Maybe it was just laying around somewhere, and
that's
they're
true.
like,
It was on the lot already.
Excuse me.
Listen, the
might be helpful.
old opening for MGM, the lion comes out. It was already on the lot. They they got to swap those in and out every now and then. So
You just got to utilize the cards you're dealt,
that's
I
true.
guess.
You only got a $2 million budget. You got to make it work.
And then Margaret Hamilton, who plays the Wicked Witch of the West.
Great performance.
Her makeup was made partly with copper.
Oh, sure.
So the scene where she leaves Munchkin Land and you see the smoke come up, the smoke comes up really early. And we just saw the scene happen. I was looking for it. The smoke comes up really early. That was the first take.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, do over.
Yeah.
The second take, her cape gets caught in the trap door. So when the smoke comes up, she caught on fire.
Sure.
And that hidden platform then trapped her with the smoke and the fire, causing 2nd and 3rd degree burns on her hands and face. So they had to use the first take because she was so badly burned that they could not redo that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Again, things that just would not happen today.
Yeah. I mean, it is surprising, but you do still hear of movies where stunt women do go down. Things go off the rails, like random, production people do get caught in issues, but like main characters in a movie having those problems happen. Yeah,
and I hear that too, like Uma Thurman in Kill Bill, she gets in a car crash.
Yeah.
Really, and Quentin Tarantino had to convince her to do it.
Yeah.
So you hear things all the time, or like people that are doing their own stunts and later go, oh yeah, that was really dangerous.
Yeah.
Like we were kind of like wrestling a live bear, doing whatever.
Yeah.
And then the last really dangerous thing that I heard of, the snow in the poppy scene.
Oh yes, yeah.
Did
I love
you get
this.
this?
Yeah, go.
It was made 100% from industrial grade. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Chrysotile asbestos.
Yeah. The first word isn't what is
right.
we need to
The
underline.
second word, 100% asbestos. Even though the hazards were well documented already, they're just like, it'll be fine.
Listen, we can't. I know there are safer options, but it just doesn't look like snow like asbestos.
We need it to
does.
look like snow.
I don't care how it feels on your skin or the repercussions post movie, but
there's no other material we could use to make this work for a pointless scene. That just causes you to wake up. Yeah. And I will say, as far as favorite parts of the movie, going from black and white to Technicolor is genius.
It holds up.
She opens the door, and the way that she even stands to the side of it so you can just see out. I remember seeing that as a kid and being like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And we had color TV then.
Right.
When
So,
I was younger.
yeah.
It was still amazing.
Right.
You're seeing it, and everything just seems so much brighter.
Yeah. So in terms of favorite parts, I've got a list of 4 to 5 favorite scenes, favorite quotes.
Let's do that, because then I have much more least favorites.
Oh, perfect. All right, good. So number 1, we already discussed. How can you talk if you haven't got a brain? I don't know, but some people without brains do an awful lot of talking.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I think I'm fairly certain I've used that in context in the real world. Yeah, still holds up. I thought this was a list of favorite scenes. I think it's just quotes, really. Not even a rhinoceros, imposterous, I think holds up whenever that song comes on.
Yep.
When we're playing it, that's my favorite.
What
line.
makes the muskrat guard his musk?
I mean,
love that.
I will say favorite, and I put this in favorite scenes quotes, is, I don't know if you're familiar with this song, but it was a song that was cut. It was the Jitterbug. Have you heard that song?
I don't believe that I have.
Well, let us dive in, because the only reason I know about this song is because of the soundtrack. We watched the movie, we download it, and then one of the times we're just leaving it on, and this song comes on, and we're both kind of looking at each other like, what part of the movie was this? Would this have been? And I'm not sure. I don't have any context in terms of, but it's listed as an outtake.
Huh.
It's a who's. It's a who's. It's a what's this. It's a what's this. Who's that?
It doesn't give a good ballpark for how it could even play into where it is.
I want to know what is in the background. What is going on during this song?
It's, especially for this time, it's not like it's not a catchy song, but it feels like they cut it for a reason and probably lost a good 15 to 20 minutes out of whatever this storyline would have been.
And the beginning is so scary, and now she's like, hip, hip, hip,
yeah. So I don't know if this is, again, they're all just walking and now they're coming across whatever jitterbugs are, but I think it was a good play, because it's not a song that necessarily sticks out as it would have been a top one, but I thought that was a good call. Favorite scenes and quotes out of you?
I mean,
the list is short. The list is short.
Just most memorable quotes. We're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
How many times has that been used?
Yeah, I made a category of just most popular quotes, and that was number 1. I mean, it's not only in terms of it being said, but like when there's Wizard of Oz like merchandise, that is everywhere.
Right.
On a T-shirt, on a pin, a kitchen, like a refrigerator magnet. We're not in Kansas anymore. Like, people love that.
And it's used in sporting contexts, like everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really had legs on it.
Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my.
Yep.
I mean, that's really it.
There's no place like home.
Yeah.
I mean, again, another one of these lines that an ant would crochet onto a pillow and it would get past you as a gift.
At first, I thought you meant like a bug ant. I'm like, sure, if that situation arose, I bet he or she would be happy to do that.
Listen, I didn't expect to be the advocate for this movie, the sole advocate, but I'm happy to wear that hat. Now I need to hear your least favorite or potentially scenes or quotes for the.
And I will say this: I was the one that was against ripping this and other childhood movies because I am someone that will enjoy things just because I enjoy them.
Yep.
Like, you can point out the flaws and I will be like, okay,
gets a pass.
Who cares?
Right.
I mean, it's part of the movie.
Right.
So it is what it is. It's like, it's a family member. Like, yeah, you take the flaws with it because you love it. And
it's your cousin you don't really want to have around, but listen, you've had good times.
Yeah. The holidays, they're there for you.
Sure.
My least favorite characters. So I'm going to call the magic slippers a character.
Okay.
What do they do? What do they do? And how magic can they be? Because they clearly don't prevent the wearer from dying.
Yeah.
If the witch wearing it gets a house dropped on her.
That's true.
So, but the Wicked Witch of the West really wants these things.
Yeah.
That Dorothy doesn't know the magic they contain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
what do they contain?
Glinda from the jump says to her, like, obviously these are important or else you wouldn't be getting so upset about them.
Yeah.
Like, but she doesn't allude to any
what do
value
they
they
do?
have. That's fair.
Do they do anything? Can you fly in that? Like, it just seems pointless if you don't have those shoes.
But it's a big vehicle for this movie because without them, how is she getting home? She's not clicking her,
So then the witch just goes, you've learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Because they end up not doing anything anyway, where she's like, oh, you could have gone home from the beginning. I could have? Yeah, you just wouldn't have believed me. I would have believed you if I ended up in my bed. I don't know that I needed to believe you. Thanks for making me walk through this whole journey and kill a witch for no reason. I appreciate that. Wicked Witch of the East. the one that dies.
Yeah.
How dumb do you have to be to
Yeah, I had questions
unknowingly
about
get
that.
crushed by a house? You don't see it coming through the air.
Don't hear it.
You're in Munchkin Land,
Yeah.
so it's not like you got a bunch of tall things in your way that are blocking your view of the sky. Maybe just like step 3 feet to the side.
No awareness.
None. And then I think my last is a tie between Glinda, the Good Witch of the North.
Least favorite.
Yeah. And the Wizard.
Oh, I love this.
Because each are useless.
Yeah.
Glinda says, listen, Dorothy. You need to follow the yellow brick road. Go to the Emerald City. How I know it's Emerald? You'll see it. All right, just calm down. You'll get there. The wizard will get you home. So either she knows he's a fraud, and that he can't help her, and she just sends her on a wild goose chase for no reason, or she has been fooled by this idiot, and she's dumb enough to buy into it. Either way, you are not helping Dorothy out at all.
Yeah.
And then the wizard. He has no talents to speak of. He has somehow fooled an entire city. Good on him.
Easily fooled, evidently.
However, all he has to protect and conceal his true identity is a curtain that can be pulled to the side by a little dog.
Or
maybe
just
have
various
like,
mustaches or outfits because he keeps changing. And Yeah.
Maybe have like an office and a door with a lock on it. They had locks in the 30s.
You've got this giant building, the Emerald Castle. You got to figure you can carve out a little space for yourself to.
If you have the technology to have this smoke and like the AV equipment to have all this functioning properly, I think you can get one of the little tinkerers to just make you a room and a lazy boy where you can sit comfortably. I don't know.
I put in least favorite characters, the wizard, and my first line was, he's an idiot.
And this is true. However, how dumb can he be?
True.
If everyone falls for it.
Is that the ploy? Is it like I'm dumb, but really? I mean, my issues with him. I start off. He doesn't know how hot air balloons work. He flies away. I cannot stop this. Like goodbye. That's it. He's making things overly difficult for a child who just wants to go home. Like all she wants to do is go home, and he's putting hurdles in the way.
Get me her broom.
Have you ever met a child who's lost and you're like, I don't know where my parents are. Can you help me? Yes. If you answer me these riddles 3.
Right.
Do something for me and I'll scratch your back.
You need to tell me who won the NCAA tournament in 1974.
I will not help you.
Find that out, and I will get you home. I promise.
If we were able to make a real footprint in social media and in the world of hot takes, I would say Dorothy as a least favorite character. Now, I'm not saying this is my hill I will die on, but this is the argument. She's overdramatic. She's always out of breath, which bothers me. Every time she talks, she cannot.
She's a smoker. What are you gonna do?
She can never gather her composure enough to not talk without bringing it a little bit out of breath, even when she's standing still. She takes her aunt and uncle for granted. I mean, she has to go through this entire hour and a half long journey just to realize her house was where she wanted to be the whole time, and then and where are the parents? No backstory. Again.
I guess if she's younger though,
Yeah.
and so she's out of breath. I mean, I think of think of your stereotypical young girl who's like confused, overly dramatic. Like when you were listing the adjectives about her, I guess that adds up to being younger.
Yeah. I mean, she's confused. There's a lot of confusing things happening. There's a scarecrow that came to life, a tin man, a lion. I mean, there's a lot of things that are worth being confused and
a guy in a real lion skin costume.
Like, and she can tell the difference. She's like, "This, you did not get this at Party City. This is a 90-pound."
Where did you come
hide.
across lion skin? I would be terrified.
Yeah, that might be more concerning than flying monkeys. Is like, where did you come across this? This is high production value for a $2 million budget. That cannot be understated. Do you have any favorite characters if you were to pick one?
I really did like the Lollipop Guild.
Yeah.
I don't know why they make the faces they do.
Yeah.
Like, are they disfigured? Are they just given tood?
Yeah.
But they clearly had this song dialed up.
Yeah.
For just an occasion.
Sure.
I think that's either really good foresight that they knew they were going to need it one day, or maybe they're just well prepared for any situation.
This is great. I can't wait till we do the Willy Wonka episode because I have questions for the Oompa Loompas. One of which is very much on that topic, which I said to Jen was, so they're working in the chocolate factory for all these years. No one's coming in, no one's coming out. That's the big thing is it's off guard.
Right.
It's off reach to anyone. Are the Oompa Loompas talking to each other? Are they singing around with each other? If not, they've waited all this time to have not said or done anything, and then come with all. Wouldn't Willy Wonka be like, damn, like you guys really came prepared? Like,
well done.
I'm impressed. He's nonplussed by it. He is unbothered by the choreographed songs and dances from them. I mean, it just seemed like, maybe one reaction to it, unless this is they're practicing and kind of getting ready, like,
right.
Fill in the lines. If we have a German kid who eats too much, let's have a song that kind of bounces around those ideas. Like, I think there's a lot of preparation on their half.
I do think they're quick-witted.
Yeah.
And I think music aids in there because this is some tough manual labor, not to get too sidetracked.
Sure.
But I mean, some movies you just got to break into song.
Yeah.
And I think it would ease the workday for them.
Sure.
But it does seem a little rehearsed.
Yeah.
I'll admit.
I think the Wicked Witch really holds up still. She's scary as hell. Like, for when you were little, she was scary. And even now, being an adult, you know what's happening, but she's giving it her all. She is really putting in a show.
I will say the Flying Monkeys.
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention them.
Sure.
Because you still have adults that are like, nope.
Yep.
Those monkeys terrify me.
Yep.
The fact that they can grab them, and I think when they rip the scarecrow from like limb to limb.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Oh, okay. So they're powerful.
Yeah.
They can fly. They're relentless. And nothing seems to stop them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I said as a part of my support for the Wicked Witches, good on her for going her whole life without coming into contact with water at all. No hydration.
on there.
Never washing her hands. Like she knew
rain.
She knew her weaknesses and she held off for as long as she could.
It's like the sign. Have you seen Signs?
Yeah.
By M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes.
I wonder if he got it from this movie and was like, light bulb.
It feels
Genius.
like maybe he's not able to finish the movie and he's watching. He puts it on one day and just goes, this.
Done.
I think we've got a wrap.
Water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's surprising.
Yeah.
Because aren't there waterfalls and other things around? Maybe I'm just making that up.
I mean,
there's
again,
woods.
You'd think maybe a rainstorm unexpectedly would come by and then
there's
maybe,
snow that she created.
That's true. Made of
asbestos.
made of highly dangerous asbestos.
So maybe she was just planning on steering clear either way because of the health risks.
Yeah.
And so she never learned. I don't know.
Yeah. And maybe another honorable mention for least favorite could be Toto. Just bit people, ran away. Was kind of, not really helping move the story along.
Creating some problems.
Yeah.
Some major problems.
Problem X would have been put down much sooner had this been a current story.
Or a bigger dog. I think the fact that he's tiny, that people are like, he's fine. He's an ankle biter.
Sure.
But, I mean, Miss Gulch said her leg was almost lame from this dog biting her.
Yeah.
Major problem.
Do we have questions, unanswerable or otherwise?
Do I ever? Do I ever?
Take it away.
So Dorothy goes through this whole dream state again, aka concussion hallucinations.
Sure.
So when she wakes up, is Toto now taken away? Because
That's a fair question.
she gets told, we're taking your dog.
Yeah.
He's being put down.
Yeah.
She freaks out. Toto escapes the basket because who would have thought a dog would jump out of a basket that's not latched?
That is
mind-blowing. Then the storm comes through. I mean, if I were Miss Gulch, I would be like, oh, hey, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are safe. Also, I need your dog because
I'm going to kill it.
I thought we were clear that I'm going to destroy him.
Now, at her point, she's like, look, I'm already all the way down the road.
I've come so far.
Listen, I don't have the time to go back and try to kill this dog again.
Or maybe she died in the tornado.
That's true.
It looked pretty powerful.
Sure.
But I'm just assuming, so like Dorothy comes back, realizes there's no place like home. Great. You're feeling pretty good about yourself. And then, oh yeah, I forgot. Toto still has to die. That's a kind of a downer. We already brought up Glinda.
Yeah.
That if she knew the wizard was a fraud, why'd she make Dorothy go all the way back? Dorothy just had to click her heels. And was there no room in the bubble? She travels by bubble.
That's true.
If you really want to get her home
It's a
that
tight
badly, can you not make it bigger? I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how bubble travel works.
I mean, that's a fair question.
This one is kind of really precise, but during the Tin Man solo, you see Dorothy and the Scarecrow whisper something back and forth, and they nod.
Oh.
What do they
okay.
say?
Okay.
Like, holy crap, did you realize that he could dance and
you
that
see-
steam
he-
came out of his head?
He is doing the Michael Jackson lean from Beat It, I believe. Is that
I think.
just leaning hard each way? He's got a good moves.
But I just want to know, what are they saying? Because they
Sure.
both they switch off nodding and
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah.
What are they
Fair.
asking? All right, last thing. When the witch takes Dorothy back to the castle, she puts this hourglass up because she says, I don't have all day.
Yeah.
When the time's up, you're going to die.
Yeah.
What happens when the time is up? Because then it's a race for them to break through the door with the axe and get her out of there before the time is up. So is it just like instantaneous where like the sand runs out? It's a spell where she just drops dead? Or is it like, I'm coming back. I'm not doing this now, but I'm going to come back and kill you as soon as the sand goes to the bottom. And that's a giant hourglass.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time has passed, but it's even the little ones you have in like board games.
Yeah.
They're it takes way longer than you think.
Yeah, it's true.
So I just, why are you waiting?
Yeah.
Just kill her.
Yeah, it's true. It's a lot of the ongoing like 007 Bond villain that like tells you
monologue?
this. Yeah, that tells you how I'm gonna kill you or what I'm gonna
Right.
do. And it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna get out of this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use this against you.
Maybe
like,
do this.
Yeah,
Just do it.
let's
you don't
get
have to
things
explain
moving.
it to me.
Sure. We don't have all day. If that's all your questions unanswered, I have a few as well.
Please.
Okay, so Annie M talking to the Wicked Witch and has a discussion. And this is the beginning. Well, Elmira Gulch at the time.
As a Christian woman.
Yeah. Yes. So she said, well, being a Christian woman, I can't say it. Well, what does she want to say?
That's a good point.
Go fuck yourself. Like what
Could
is
be.
the 1939 version of like, up your nose with a rubber hose? Like
Yeah,
what is she?
to heck with you?
Yeah. But she can't say it because she's a Christian woman. The whole Jitterbug storyline, which we already kind of discussed, how does that play in? What does it mean? It can't be
Yeah.
that significant. Like,
But it sounds like all the characters are there.
Yeah.
So is this after the snow?
yeah, which we're now
The
seeing.
asbestos
We're now seeing the
snow.
asbestos rain upon them all.
And it's in their hair.
What are they thinking during filming? Is it like, are they all aware of what asbestos does to you? Or are they just like, look,
The actors, I'm sure, don't know what it's made of because
Yeah.
they're probably just told
that's true.
it's going to snow.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Real snow? No.
Yeah.
It'll be fake snow. Oh, okay. I can't imagine they want to know what it's actually made out of. But the people behind the scenes
Yeah.
probably are wearing masks as they like dump this from the ceiling.
Yeah. Hey, Dorothy. Judy. Sorry. You see, the entire production crew is wearing masks except us, right? During the scene. Yeah. All right. I guess.
Are you
Yeah.
concerned?
I don't have a problem with that. I guess. I mean, it seemed
Toto is running through. I mean,
there's
it's
no,
up to his neck.
Toto was not long for this world. There's no way, much longer after this movie, running through asbestos, the schedules that he was on, that he was going to make it much longer.
6-day work week.
Yeah, but he made a good pay. So the line during the Munchkins when they're singing, one of the lines is, "Then this is a day of independence for all the Munchkins and their descendants." And someone in the background says, "If any." And my line is that an insult? Like, are you saying that the Munchkins don't have descendants? Like, is it just like a line like, look, some of us decided to have kids at this time, some of us didn't. Like, those are our own life choices. Or is it like, look, they're Munchkins. Like, are they really going to have kids? Like, why the additional line? Why the if any? It seems a little like backhanded.
Or
Food for
that they aren't really independent?
Yeah, but he's saying a day of independence for all the Munchkins and their descendants, if any.
If there are any descendants?
Or if there are any Munchkins, but we know there are Munchkins. So are there kids? We don't know. I don't know that line was necessary. I'm wondering if
It
any.
seems harsh.
Yeah. Dorothy kills the Wicked Witch of the East in the beginning. What is her story? So we kind of at least spoke in the ballpark of what does that even mean? She's obviously can't be too bright if she can't see a house coming to.
And what is she doing in Munchkin Land?
Yeah.
Like everyone's afraid of her.
Yeah.
But
she's not
why?
as scary as the Wicked Witch of the West. The West is the scarier one.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the implication, at least. Like,
I think so.
we killed this one, but this is the real one to
her
worry
bigger,
about.
badder sister's gonna
Yeah.
be pissed.
Did the Munchkins summon the house? Was this a hit? Was this a well planned, well thought out? Like, we just want you to stand here on this. No, it's not an X. It just happens to be
Just
two lines
stand
that are
there.
crossed.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, no. We don't plan on building anything here anytime soon. but please sit tight. We have a nice little present for you.
Well, I think that was the idea. It was a fluky thing
Sure.
that her house came from Kansas.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, also it's a dream.
Yeah.
So I don't know at what point you're like, well, that's just dream logic.
Yeah.
Like, why did I end up in my childhood bedroom
Sure.
with a bunch of zoo animals?
Yeah.
Because I ate a magic cherry. And I don't know.
Also, I'd be clever as a gizzard. What the fuck is a gizzard? And
Isn't
why?
that in a turkey?
That's what I thought. I thought it was a part of something. I didn't realize it was its own
I
thing.
think the gizzard is,
And why is it so clever?
I believe it like crushes rocks or something. Like,
Okay, that's
It's
fair.
in their
I'm not saying
digestive
you know
system.
what? This could be my own ignorance. Now we're seeing the horses of different colors. I believe you have
yes.
some information on this because you talked a little
The
bit about it.
horses, I thought originally that the horses were colored with like different colored lights, or was done in special effects later after they shot.
They look legit, like they slapped some paint on them.
It's Jello crystals.
Okay.
So they had to hurry and shoot, and you don't see a lot of shots of their heads because they keep trying to lick the Jello crystals off of themselves and off the other horses.
Sure.
So all of those horses are covered in Jello crystals.
Okay. Good on them for figuring out like what will dye their fur.
And I've seen 3 different horse colors already.
And you could see the yellow horse, and I mean maybe it's just that specific horse, but his eyes were covered, so maybe it is a thing of like, look, stop looking at the other horses. They don't have Jello crystals on them.
Sure,
Like,
yeah. Don't pay no attention
Yeah.
to that horse with the Jello.
to the horse behind the
This
curtain.
is my other kind of nitpicky thing.
Sure.
Every character seems to have their own room to get a little R&R.
Yeah.
Did they have did they know they were coming on the fly? They're just like, well, we can just kind of like, I don't know, make this room work.
Yeah.
It looks pretty specifically
Yeah.
designed for each character.
Are there other Tin Men and Scarecrows? And
This is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Are they one of a kind? Because it looked like you were ready for us.
Yeah, certainly a big buffing wheel may not have a whole lot of reuse. I mean, at least the Cowardly Lion and Dorothy, like that's just them getting their
Right,
hair
man,
did, their
yep.
nails done, so fine.
But the stuffing station for the Scarecrow,
Sure.
I don't know how many
Seems
other
one use.
applications
Yeah.
you would need that
Yeah.
for.
But I will tell you, all of them, they look pretty good. You know, they go to the salon. The Tin Man really had the best glow up. I mean, he looks great. Like
He's shiny.
Yeah, and it's not like an outwardly like hurt your eyes. It's like a nice matte. It's a good touch. It's a good look on him.
They do look good. They're great
Yeah.
costumes.
Yeah. They still hold up, and it's not like an old movie where you're like, oh, this looks like this looks
Right.
like shit.
I want to know how, like, when you watch the videos now of like, again, the Marvel movies and
Yeah.
their makeup, how they have to sit in the chair for like 8 hours or
Sure.
whatever. How long did it take, start to finish,
Yeah.
to apply this? And it was done every day.
Yeah, these are long
Golly.
days. These are long days. Another question, unanswerable or otherwise. The opening of the movie, the opening card. For nearly 40 years, this story has been given faithful service to the young in heart, and time has been powerless to put its kindly philosophy out of fashion. To those of you who have been faithful to it in return, and to the young in heart, we dedicate this picture.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I always just glazed over that
Yeah.
scene, and now I actually read it
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
I still have no freaking clue what it means.
I haven't the slightest. The end, to those young in heart, we dedicate this picture, sure, but a lot of the beginning, the faith, given faithful service to the young in heart. So is that just parents? Like that's to the parent, and time has been powerless to put its kindly philosophy out of fit. I don't know. It's kind of word soup to me. They could have just said, hey, this one goes out to all the kids.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
How about that?
Or just skip the card altogether. Save 2 minutes on the opening.
I'm problematic.
I don't see anything outwardly racist at all
Okay.
about this movie.
I will say there is a line that I think is definitely rewritten in these times because it is very specific to this time. It's the Cowardly Lion song. It's actually his song. We're watching it right now. Courage. What makes a king out of a slave? Courage. What makes the flag on the mast to wave? Courage. What makes the elephant charges his tusk in the misty mist or the dusky dusk? Fine. What makes the muskrat guard his musk? We already discussed it. Courage. What makes the Sphinx the seventh wonder? Courage. What makes the dawn come up like thunder? Courage. What makes the Hottentot so hot? Hottentots. Both an ethnic term and a term of abuse. Not great. And the reason I know this is because of Mary Poppins, because there's a line when all the chimney sweeps are up on the roof and they're dancing around, and the captain or whoever shoots off the cannon he says, we're being attacked by Hottentots. And I was like, what is a Hottentot?
Oh.
I believe it was a slur of some sort. Of a kind. There's a certain people that they're referring to.
But you're saying that they're what makes them so hot?
what makes the Hottentot so hot? I don't know if that means like, I'm guessing it's like what makes him so angry, but it's courage.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Probably not
So
attractive.
so doesn't Hottentot?
Like, damn, those Hottentots.
Yeah. So it's a line of the time. Like I said, Mary Poppins drops it as well. The only reason it really stuck out to me. But so that one, Glinda early on says only bad witches are ugly. Again, not racist or problematic, but I think the ugly line is something that's definitely thrown around in older kids movies, and I think now you probably be more hard pressed to find someone calling someone ugly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure, like in any of these movies, if you really nitpick, you could find something where
that's
you're
what
like,
I'm saying. I'm not saying this is my issue with the movie. I'm saying could it be? Yeah, could it be an issue? Is it problematic?
If it's redid, well, yeah, like you said, if it's redid today, do they leave that line out? Yeah. Probably.
The whole Munchkin song about the Wicked Witch being dead. I mean, they really harp it home. Like, she is dead. We checked. We had guys check.
The coroner examined
We're all
her.
singing about it, and rightfully so. They're happy about it. But I remember, especially like when I was real little, we were all singing it. She's singing the song about how they're dead, and I'm like, again, we're
celebrating.
Listen, we're celebrating someone's death, but for all the right reasons. So I get it.
She was awful, to be fair.
I think we're rounding third. Do we recommend this movie? Does it still hold up? Do you argue if there's a Thanksgiving dinner discussion about the movie, are you in favor or are you pushing back on it?
I would say this: if you are able to get past some major plot holes.
Listen, I don't want to hear you say it's a stinkeroo. This isn't the New Yorker in 1930.
I would not. I would never.
Or that it's a wet fruitcake.
Oh, yeah. Wow. What imagery. That is some good descripting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend this.
Yeah.
I think of the movies we're going to cover.
Yeah.
Do I think this is accurately rated? Yes.
98%.
Do I think this is a good movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. The music holds up.
Yeah.
The acting holds up. The special effects, the story, like, get it.
Yeah.
If you are able to look past that her aunt and uncle freaking abandoned her during a storm and her concussion-like hallucinations is the entire movie.
Sure.
If you can get past that and go, okay, this was a dream.
Yeah.
All right. Then buckle up.
Sure.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Sure.
You?
I think so. I was really hoping with this podcast to really go in on movies, and there's gonna be some to really go in on. Again, this one is almost just so fantastical. It's hilarious, especially on the old reviews, to see people going in on and being like, "This is my problem with The Witch," and it's like, listen,
right?
Like, do you hear what we're arguing about right now?
Right.
We're arguing about witches and flying monkeys. Like, if this movie tried to take itself any bit more seriously, then I'd see it getting into murky waters. But they went full fantasy, they went full silly, and out of the realm of possibility that it's hard to like. What are we arguing? We're not arguing anything that has footing in anything, so you can pretty much do anything.
Right, you can't. And again, if this is a dream, anything is possible.
Right.
So,
and a lot of people have said that Star Wars is based off of The Wizard of Oz. A lot of people find that connection, that there's someone who's lost, they have this journey, they're looking for something, all these characters join to help along the way. There's been a lot of allegory, a lot of
really
that supposedly the connections that it might have been inspiration for Star Wars.
Well, then I have a question for you. Being a music guy,
sure.
Have you ever listened to Dark Side of the Moon and try to key it up with this movie?
I have not, only because I don't give a shit about Pink Floyd, but I haven't. Have you?
In college, I was walking down the hallway in the dorms, and there were like 20 guys jammed into a room watching it, and were like keying it up. I'm pretty sure they were all pretty high at the time. I think I lasted about 30 seconds.
Okay.
And was like,
I thought you were going to say 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think
that is not, if you were to say a dorm room full of guys all jammed watching The Wizard of Oz with the Pink Floyd, that is not the setting I would think.
Dark.
Yeah.
Everything was pitch black. Yeah. And I just hear like, oh, like they're arguing about how it matched up. And I'm like, you've lost me, gentlemen. If already you're convincing me that this works,
sure.
I think you're seeing things that are not there.
So I think it holds up. the rating is for a reason. I think it's appropriate. When we were little, we thought this was good. We still think it's good.
Yeah, there are some issues.
There are issues.
Overall,
we'd make a few cuts here and there, but for a movie that is nearly 100 years old, this can't be said for a lot of other movies.
I think that's what's most impressive watching it is all the things they had to have overcome.
Yeah,
with the camera work, with technology, with all that, and how solid it looks. These sets have got to be crazy.
Right, and like you said, it could compete with another kid. You could put this up against another kid's movie, and a kid could still. It's not like, oh, I'm bored. Like this doesn't have anything for me. It's got music. It's got special effects.
Do you have any idea how long it took them to film this?
No,
because building the sets, filming all the artwork in the background, that to me is one of the most impressive things.
Any final notes for the movie or for potential audiences who may go into rewatching this or watching it for the first time?
Nothing clever. No.
You don't need anything clever. Just go in with an open heart and don't try to look for a hanging munchkin because you're not going to find it. I don't think I've ever seen a copy of this movie that shows that I've been able to point out someone who is hanging from the trees in the background.
No, I did look into that.
Yeah.
And it's hogwash.
Yeah. So it was never, there was no truth to it at all.
No.
It wasn't like there was a version where you could.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
There is a speech that is given that I don't really get. And I feel like that sums up the movie well, where she's just like, I realize now that I want to go home. And if I leave and I'm not happy, then I never had it to begin with, something like that. And I'm just like, what? I think that sums up the movie. Like if you overthink it, you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
If you just take it and they say things and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you move on.
Keep it moving. Yeah.
It's a nice movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And aside from Hottentots and the general idea that munchkins are, here for your only purposes are singing and not having to pay them for budgetary reasons, then no problems.
But you save them from Hitler.
Yeah.
So
who's the real winner here is the Wizard of Oz. As much you may not like this movie, but listen, lots of lives were saved. So good on Leo Singer.
We broke even.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Please follow, rate, review, like, and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Tune in next week when we review another cinematic masterpiece from our childhood. Until then, I'll get you my pretty, and your little dog too.